Wish you could become a morning person? You know the type, up before the sun, early morning runs, first one to the office with donuts and a smile. How do they do it? Easy. With the new Galaxy Watch 8, sleep tracking and personalized insights from Samsung Health help you improve so you can wake up to a whole new you. One who, dare I say it, skips the snooze? It's possible. Train your sleep with Galaxy Watch 8. Learn more at Samsung.com. Requires compatible Samsung Galaxy phone, Samsung Health app, and Samsung account.
For a limited time at McDonald's, get a Big Mac Extra Value Meal for $8. That means 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, and medium fries, and a drink. We may need to change that jingle.
Prices and participation may vary.
This podcast is supported by FX's English Teacher. Last year's critically acclaimed series returns to follow Evan, Gwen, and Marky as they vie for their students' divided attention. See why Cosmopolitan called its premiere season a masterclass of comedy, while Glamour raved it's the year's funniest and most heartwarming new comedy series. FX's English Teacher, all new Thursdays on FX. All episodes now streaming on Hulu.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the Dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
Tom, you want to get into our interview with Gregory?
Yes.
This is really exciting.
Gregory Gourdet, the hometown chef of Portland, season 18 and season 17 and 12 contestant. Here's Gregory Gourdet. Kevin, we have Chef Gregory Gourdet on the line. He is the author of Everyone's Table Cookbook, now out in stores or at least on Amazon. I think like 200 recipes in that book. We're going to talk to him about that. He's also the chef and owner and dishwasher, I should add, of Khan Restaurant in Portland. And the reason why he's just melted our hearts here at Pack Your Knives. He is the season 17 All-Star Chef Testin and the season 12 runner-up on Top Chef. I have eaten at your restaurant at your former digs at Departure. My friends got married in Portland. Shout out to Coop and Reese. And they said on our rehearsal dinner, we were going nowhere else than to Chef Gregory's place. So I've eaten your food. It's fantastic. And Kevin, we have so much to talk to you about Gregory. How excited are you?
This is fantastic. Gregory, let me ask you a question. And obviously it's been a while since the recording, but like that first episode being on the other side of the judges table, you probably even asked this. I'm just curious. That was kind of a mind screw.
Basically the whole thing is like nerve wracking. And like to be on the other side for the first time is very, very odd. And like I must admit, it took me like some time to chill out because for me, that setting, all I know is like stress, anxiety, fighting for your life. It's like you walk to the Top Chef kitchen and every time you've ever done it, you're in like fight mode, and like you're trying to defend yourself and trying to like listen to Padma and like just like trying to make really quick decisions. So it felt good to not have that stress and anxiety, but it was very, very different, I must admit. I mean, it's great, it was very nice, it's a lot shorter of a day. But
when they reached out to you to be a part of this season, what did you know that you were going to be there at like as a judge for several episodes, or like did they just say, hey, we just want you to be a part of this season?
Honestly, I don't quite recall, but Yeah, I mean, I think they told us. Yeah, I'm getting like All Stars confused with this season, like the last season. Because every time they call you, like it takes forever. They're like, we might consider you for this, we might do this, and then you're like so excited and you totally want to do it, but then like you know how production goes and it takes forever.
Gregory, everything in television development in Hollywood here in Los Angeles takes forever. These people, it takes them 6 weeks to read. I mean, that is par for the course.
Yeah. But I mean, of course, anytime anyone from Top Chef calls, I immediately say yes because I love Top Chef and it's been so fun and it's changed my life. And, you know, so many people love the show. So I'm just happy to be part of it. But yeah, as soon as they said they're like considering having us be back to judge, I was absolutely 100% all about it.
It's your city.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus it was in Portland. And I think we were actually trying to get it here for a couple of years. And, you know, there were lots of meetings and, you know, it just never worked out. You know, I think we were working on it last year and it just didn't work out. And, you know, it was disappointing, but of all the years for it to happen, it was the year of the pandemic. And, you know, a lot of things happened in Portland while we were shooting. And, you know, it was just a very, very historic year for our country. And Portland was right front and center of that. But it happened and it's an amazing season. I know it is. And, you know, the cast of chefs is absolutely fantastic. The all-stars and alumni that, you know, that I was able to be there with, you know, are some dear, dear friends of mine. And we had a great time. And I think it's going to be a really fantastic, tremendous season for everyone.
Yeah. I mean, if you were advising a young chef who just asked you, look, do I want to do this? I have a chance to be a contestant. Like, what are the best reasons to do it if you're, let's say, a 31-year-old chef in a market like Portland?
Sure. I mean, for me, you know, I mean, Top Chef is such a part of just American television and such a part of the, you know, like there's so many facets to the culinary world. And, you know, television is obviously a part, it's a direction you can go in. And, you know, my Top Chef journey, I auditioned for Top Chef years and years and years ago. Like, you know, I was, you know, friends with Leanne when she was on season 1, you know, so, you know, I auditioned for like maybe like season 3 or 4 or something. And like maybe like somewhere in there, like season 7 or 8 or something.
Whoa. So you auditioned for like 4 or 5 years before you landed on season 12?
Oh yeah, no, like more than that. Cause I was the first season I was on season 12, maybe like even 10 years, you know, and Top Chef's been around for 18 years, you know? So, I've been cooking for like 22, 23 years. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't get on, you know, a couple times and the second time I didn't even make callbacks. The first time I didn't even make callbacks. The second time I made it to LA and I got to meet all the execs. And I didn't get cast. So I think I made it on to like maybe like the final 50 or something. And then the last time they kind of found me and like 3 people asked me to do it from their side. And I was like, it's like really stressful to apply. It's so much work, you know, I'm like happy I'm working. I don't think I want to do this. And by the time the third person reached out, I was like, okay, yes, I'll do it. And, you know, I'm so happy I did because, you know, I did well in Boston. But I definitely think it's a question of whether or not you think you're ready, because thinking that you're ready and being ready is 2 different things. And, you know, I did better my first season than I did my second season, you know, and I knew more about food by my second season, you know, so I think it all depends on if you actually think you're ready and if you're actually ready or not.
Yep.
But I encourage it. If you're a fighter, if you like a challenge, if you like, you know, high pressure situations, if you like high risk, high reward scenarios, I definitely think Top Chef is the way to go because it 100% pushes you as a chef.
I do want to ask you about the last season because as a man who had back surgery 1.5 years ago, like I sort of, I mean, hey, no disrespect. I mean, like Melissa is a god, but I kind of put a little asterisk next to your performance last year because like, I'm sorry, like I could, like as someone who has suffered that stuff, I could see it in the performance. Like you were a broken man because there's nothing worse than back shit.
It was pretty bad.
I mean,
we actually had like a few days off between LA and getting to Italy, and literally I was at home making pasta, like trying to like do all this stuff, learning about Italian ingredients because I've never worked with Italian food, and I was like, I'm just gonna go for it. We have to, and I literally bent down to pick up my luggage It was like 1 a.m. I had to leave like within like a couple hours to get to the airport for like my 21-hour trip to Italy, and I bent down and like I had the biggest back spasm I've ever had in my life. And I live by myself. So I just like got my shit together. I like just made it to the airport. I flew to Philly, I flew to Europe, and then there's like a 5-hour drive to where we're staying in Italy.
You should have won Top Chef just for that. The fact that you had a back spasm, you threw your back out before a flight from Portland to Philly, then to Europe. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. And we had a couple days off in Italy, and I was like, okay, I should feel better. And I started to feel better. And like literally in the first quick fire that we had in Italy, I had a huge back spasm right in the middle of the quick fire, which the cameras didn't catch, but they caught the audio of it. And that was it. That was, I'm not going to say like I went down because of my back, but it didn't help. It did not help me make some smart decisions. And I think overall I chose a dish I did. I didn't think it out as much as I did because I knew I could finish it in time in the situation that I was in physically. But, if I had a little bit of a better mindset on me around that time, I hopefully would have made a smarter decision in terms of what dish to make to feature the white truffle.
I mean, that seemed like you were just in survival mode. Like, I'm going to put the wild boar stew because I know I can make wild boar stew.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so fascinating to me that you were you tried out so many times for Top Chef, and then when you got there, it seemed like you were a natural. Like you were born for this competition. That you were so. I mean, I think in season 12, you'd won 5 elimination challenges and 5 quick fires, which is absurd. And then I drafted you. We do a draft every year. We watch the first episode, and then we draft the contestants. And we do the fantasy scoring. I drafted you number 1 overall, and you were kicking ass throughout the competition. I was like, there's no way, Chef, barring injury, we do this all the time in NBA, barring injury, the Lakers are not going to lose the title. And of course, LeBron James and Anthony Davis get hurt, and then it's like, whatever. That's the same thing that happened with you, which was like you were just steamrolling in the competition, and you must have been feeling like really confident going into Italy.
Well, going into Italy, I don't know. I mean, I've not it's an excuse, but I think the one thing I learned every season of Top Chef is like actually how much I don't know about food. And like that, I learned that really clearly the first time, because once you're there, you're just there with yourself. Like you don't have the internet, you don't have your recipe cards, you don't have cookbooks, you don't have, like teammates to bounce ideas off. It's just like literally you and like whatever's in your head. So to kind of come up with something creative and new and fun and interesting and delicious every challenge, and that really goes in line with what the challenge guidelines are, it's pretty challenging. So, I always kind of like, every time I left Top Chef, I just went on like this culinary mission, and I just wanted to learn more and more about food. And, when they said Italy, I was just like, the thing is like, I'm actually gluten-free and dairy-free. so like, not that like all of Italy is based on gluten and dairy, but
no, all of Italy is based on gluten and dairy. I mean, some beautiful grilled meats, yes.
So I had to like, when I was doing my research, like I was like trying to find like the Italian food, that wasn't based off pasta, and like kind of like there's like a whole side of Italian cooking that's based on like slow cooked meats and like beautiful vegetables, and I was trying to dig into that and kind of tie that into what I do. So I knew Italy was going to be a challenge, not to put any excuses on anything, but I knew it was going to be a challenge for me, because it is a very specific cuisine. But I was going to go, I was going to do my best. I was going to make pasta. I was going to do all these things if I had the opportunity to. Unfortunately, I didn't.
Want to talk about Portland food, want to talk about Haitian food, but tell us where, it's been an awful year in the restaurant world, but where are you with Khan? What is the status? I saw the yurts. I love yurts. I froze my ass off in yurts in Mongolia for 3 weeks once.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So tell us about like where are you with Khan?
Yeah. So Khan was born on Top Chef. It's a little Top Chef baby. Top Chef restaurant worth baby, which is cool. But I actually had that concept in mind for quite a few years. I had actually had a business plan. I was actually on my way out of leaving my old post at my former restaurant to kind of start working on Khan. So like I have done multiple pop-ups based off of Con, multiple dinners all around the country based off of Con. So when the challenge before Restaurant Wars came up, the pitch, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And, what the pitch was and what, the reality of what we had time to do for the Restaurant Wars changed a little bit differently. I had to be super specific because we only had a day and, there's only a certain amount of dishes you could create. But, Con is a wood-fired Haitian-inspired concept. It's also inspired by global BIPOC cuisines. And that's what we've been doing. We're not doing a wood-fired concept right now because of we just had so much build out for the Yurt Village, the program that we're doing right now.
Village, I love it.
Yeah. But in its true essence, Con is a wood-fired Haitian-inspired restaurant. Right now, we're doing definitely Haitian cuisine and Haitian-inspired cuisine, and some other BIPOC flavors. We have some African flavors on the menu right now. But currently, this is our second pop-up. We had a pop-up last summer. We're ending our 5-month pop-up right now. We've been open since December. After this, we're going to take a break. We'll probably do another summer pop-up. That will definitely involve a grill. And after that, I'm kind of looking for brick and mortar to open up the actual real Con sometime in 2022. The restaurant has been pushed back for about a year and a half at this point. And I'm going to push back another year just to get through the pandemic.
Yeah, I was so excited to see that you were opening up Con, and the fact that Top Chef has given you a platform to get not just your story out, but Haitian cuisine. I feel like I don't want to say having a moment, but even on this last episode, you saw a couple dishes that were inspired by Haitian cuisine. It was like, all right, that's Gregory. That's a lot of it is just Gregory's imprint on, bringing that style of cooking into people's homes that maybe otherwise wasn't going to be there. So how important was it to you, not just to open up a restaurant, but to do one Haitian inspired through your background?
Sure. I think for me, waiting so long to open up my own first restaurant, I knew that it had to be a personal project. I feel oftentimes, restaurants are either a concept or they're just really personal. You can go either way. I think a lot of people are kind of leaning into their culture to, just to be able to express themselves. If I think about, my, 23-year culinary career, if this restaurant, which is my first restaurant, is to be a culmination of that. When I thought about what I wanted to do, it just felt really important to me to kind of remember my earliest food memories, and they all surround Haitian food, and the things that my mother ate because she always had dinner on the table, and, visiting my grandmother in New Jersey, on Sunday after church, and, visiting my other aunts in Queens when we go visit them as well. Spending summers in, my parts of my childhood in Haiti and all those memories. So when I thought back to my earliest food memories, it 100% revolved around Haitian cuisine. And I knew that I wanted that to be, at the core of Con. But at the same time, I've studied abroad, I've worked in restaurants all over, the world, from Europe to Asia, the Caribbean. So I wanted those influences to be important as well. And especially as we talk about, Black and brown cultures all around the world, and, just kind of racism in this country, and, uplifting culture and voices, I felt, with my knowledge, I want to do my part to kind of.
Hello, listener. It's Producer Maze here to talk to you about Quince and their cookware. Cooler nights mean cozy meals at home, and Quince's cookware has made fall cooking so much more enjoyable. Their pieces deliver the quality and performance of luxury brands, but at a price that makes sense. And they look gorgeous on the stovetop, too. No matter what item you need to complete your kitchen, Quince has you covered. With 5-ply stainless steel pots and pans, nonstick skillets, chef-quality knives, and even ceramic bakeware, which is perfect for cozy casseroles or Sunday roasts. And when you look at these prices, you might think, how is Quince doing this? How do they deliver high-quality items similar to high-end brands that are half the price? Well, let me tell you, they partner directly with ethical top-tier factories to cut out the middlemen and pass the savings on to you. And it's not just cookware. I got myself some bath sheets. That's right. When you're a tall man, you have to use bath sheets, not bath towels from Quince. It's like drying off with the cloud. It's incredible. Upgrade your kitchen for cozy fall meals with premium cookware from Quince. Go to quince.com/dings for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/dings, DINGS, to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/dings. Hello, listener. It's producer Maze here to talk to you about Kindred. Now, close your eyes like Owen Wilson during a job interview and imagine a way to travel that feels personal, comfortable, and connected without the price tags and the sterile feelings of hotels or short-term rentals. Now open your eyes and stop using your imagination because Kindred has made it very real. That's exactly what they do. Kindred is a members-only home swapping network. It's not a hotel. It's not a short-term rental. It's a smarter way to travel where each stay feels like home. Here's how it works. With Kindred, your home is your ticket. You earn credits by hosting fellow Kindred members, and then you use those credits to stay in over 220,000 homes in more than 100 cities worldwide. There are no hotel costs or rental fees, just the credits that you've earned. Every stay comes with white glove service, 24/7 trip support, and $100,000 in host protection. Make it easier for you to travel and enjoy yourself and not worry about details. I've used Kindred and I found an amazing home for a weekend getaway in an idyllic location with amazing views and great ambiance. It had everything I needed. And the best part was, it cost me $0. So apply now at livekindred.com and use code DINGS to join for free. Plus, you'll earn 5 nights of travel credit just for signing up. That's right, that's 5 whole nights for free at livekindred, KINDRED.com, code DINGS, DINGS, livekindred.com, code DINGS.
Listener, listen up. This is important, okay? I'm going to try to save you some money here. If you're still overpaying for wireless, it's time to say yes to saying no. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. You may think like, oh, that's bad. No contracts. No monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS. Here's why I said yes to making the switch and getting premium wireless for $15 a month. You heard that correctly. $15 per month. Ditch overpriced wireless and the jaw-dropping monthly bills. And of course, there are all these hidden fees and stuff, but at Mint Mobile, plans start at $15 per month. All the plans come with high-speed data, unlimited talk and text. You're not doing like weekend and nighttime minutes or anything like that. And it's delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone. Don't have to get a new phone. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all of your existing contacts. I switched months ago. People have asked, did you actually switch? Yes, I actually switched months ago, and I don't know what to do with all this extra money. I've cheated the system here. I've rigged something. This is an Ocean's 11 situation where I'm stealing wireless from Mint. That's how good a deal it is. Ready to say yes to saying no? Make the switch at mintmobile.com/dings. That's DINGS. That's mintmobile.com/dings. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 per month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
This episode is brought to you by 20th Century Studios' new film, Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, starring Golden Globe winner Jeremy Allen White and Academy Award nominee Jeremy Strong. Scott Cooper, the director of the Academy Award-winning movie Crazy Heart, brings you the story of the most pivotal chapter in the life of an icon. Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. Only in theaters October 24th. Get your tickets now.
How do you top your love for your cat? With a cascade of decadent savory gravy over a mouth-watering mousse pâté. Fancy Feast gems. 2 gourmet pâtés in one convenient pack. Simply peel and plate to reveal a pyramid shape that makes eating delightful and pamper her with an experience as extraordinary as she is. Turn the everyday into the extraordinary with Fancy Feast gems.
Add the culinary story to that as well and be able to, highlight, specific ingredients and specific dishes from all around the world. Because behind every dish, there truly is history. How certain dishes make their way across the country. Oftentimes, it was slaves. Oftentimes it was, indentured servants, if it was, different cultures bridging together, over centuries of, living in a different country. And, if you trace back the history of so many dishes and so many ingredients, there's a true history lesson in all of that. And I think, we often don't think about that. When you think about how come ginger and soy sauce is sometimes in jerk sauce, it's because of Chinese immigrants that, made it to Jamaica. Pieces of history like that, I think that's all really important to the food story.
Yeah, no, it's my first exposure to Haitian cuisine was the year Tom and I actually lived in Miami covering LeBron James's first year with the Heat. And I used to go up to this little place called Naomi's Garden. Up in little Haiti, and it was just this lovely space, and also it was sort of beautiful because it was like salted smoked herring, and right, like a dish I kind of well, it's funny because like coming from Eastern Europe, it was like we always had these like pickled sour creamy herrings in like every Jewish event, but it was exposing there and like these beautiful legumes. In fact, that's what I want to ask you is I never let chefs get away on this show without giving me a tip. So like this is what I would ask you if I want to kind of nail a Haitian legume, like just like with its richness. What's the hack that I might not find online? Like tell me.
Okay, are you putting épices in yours?
I don't know. Am I?
Okay, so épices, you're talking about legume, right? Like
like the stew, like that beautiful stew.
Yeah. Okay, so what I do, so you want to always have épices. Épices is Haitian all-purpose seasoning, so it's like a blend of like
allspice,
onions and garlic, and thyme and black pepper. Sometimes a little bit of clove, celery, habanero, salt, lime juice, and maybe some white vinegar. It's épices, EPIS. Okay. So that is, we make huge batches of that, and that is like the base of so many things. We marinate in it.
I just ordered it off Amazon as you were talking about it. I mean, it's already done.
You can't know. I don't think you should buy it on Amazon.
It's like Haitian mirepoix or something like kind of.
It's like, it looks like pesto, but it's like Caribbean flavors. It's just the texture of pesto. It's like green seasoning. It's just like a really great, punchy, spicy, flavorful, all-purpose marinade. So when I make my legume, I always put a little bit of épices in it. And what I do, I always make sure like I turn the heat up when all the vegetables have cooked. If you don't know what épices is, everyone listening, it's like eggplant and carrots and cabbage and onions and garlic all stewed down in the same pot. So what I do when everything's super tender and the eggplant has like fallen apart and it kind of makes everything kind of gooey, I crank the heat up on the bottom of my pan and I let the bottom get brown, and then I lower the heat, and then I scrape up all the brown bits and mix that into the rest of the legume. And I do that 3 or 4 times. And that way you develop a little color, you develop a little caramelization, and you develop a much, much deeper flavor. But always spike it with a little bit of épices. That's the secret ingredient.
But how do I know when that brown is turning to burn? Like that's my worst, because that's always what you want, and I always am like 3 seconds too late.
Like my complexion, not like the complexion of my sweater.
Exactly. It's like, wait, I'm doing that thing, and then it's like, oh shit, I smell
it's golden brown. Golden brown.
Right. So like, it's kind of like doing roux. Like you kind of just you
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. You want to like push the darkness a little bit and develop that flavor.
All right. Thank you. This is wonderful.
There you go.
Hey, can you just talk about Nene, Win, and Stephanie just for a little bit? They're our favorites. Can you just talk about them for a while?
They're great. They're like, those are my girls. They're great. Like Nene is like so fun. Like they're both hilarious in like different ways. And Nene is just like super sassy and super fun and like super sweet at the same time. And Stephanie is just like really self-deprecating, but she's really, really talented. And, I think last season really, gave her the boost of confidence that she just always had deep inside of her. And, she played a great game, and Nene's just a fantastic cook and just really such a bubbly, fantastic person. We were super sad when she left the house.
Yeah. We, I think Kevin, you drafted her number 3 last year.
Yeah. I just had huge hopes for her last year. I just love her food. Like, it's just one of those things where one of the cool things about being a fan of Top Chef, and like, I'm kind of an amateur home cook. I do some decent stuff, but and I've said this a million times on this show, like, with you guys, it's like watching LeBron James. Like, I marvel at, forget this, like the time constraints that the show presents to a chef. Like the creativity, just the instinct to, here is a refrigerator. You have 20 seconds to grab stuff. And then the creations, like, I just don't think people fully realize the genius that goes on. And I'm not saying that to flatter you. Like, cooking's hard. And it's just like, but sort of the fun is like, whose food am I drawn to? And yeah, Nini was just always someone who I just love those flavors and like Southeast Asian cuisine but yeah,
we need Bravo to do a Nini Gregory show. Like like Nini and Gregory need to have their own show. It doesn't have to have anything to do with cooking or food. It just I want to watch you guys interact.
Just go at it and talk about fashion and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think the thing about like my first season is like I feel like I walked into Top Chef and like some people are just, I don't know, maybe they're very confident or maybe they're just like a little bit cocky and, like, hey, I'm going to win. I'm in this to win. I've seen it happen. I've literally like had people tell me like, hey, I'm going in, I'm going to win. And like, they get eliminated like fairly early, either earlier than they expected to. My first season, I walk in, I was like, I have no idea what's about to happen. I've never done this before. I've seen every episode, but like, I really have no clue. Like, I know I have no clue how I stack up to these other chefs that are in this competition. And it took a few challenges for me to be like, hey, I can win this thing. It literally took me probably the middle to be like, oh, I can win this, or I'm going to win this. And for All Stars, I knew what I was up against. And, like when you hear names like, Brian Voltaggio and, some of these people, and I knew Melissa, was coming in hot. Like you're definitely intimidated somewhat because these are big names, and these people have done Top Chef a couple times as well. But it's truly about like the balance of thinking you can win, being able to play smart game, being extremely competitive, and having the skill and like the mindset to keep you calm all the way to the end, and not fall apart. Some people just don't think that they can, push themselves through the whole thing. I thought I could push myself through the whole thing and my body gave out, and then you have someone like, Brian Voltaggio, who like is like the most consistent, like technical, perfect, chef I've ever met in my entire life, and then you have someone like Melissa, who like did great her first season, but just like blew it completely out of the park her second season. Yeah. And, to see that growth in a chef and like, and she doesn't even work in a restaurant, but to have that calm, the sense of self to like, to be able to like have a full understanding of, all these ingredients and full understanding of Italian cuisine, and to be able to pair that with a full understanding of her personal heritage, that was extremely smart. And so it takes a little something to actually win Top Chef and make it to the end.
Yeah, I mean,
and not everyone has it.
What I always loved about your stuff was one of the other things about watching the show and watching contestants come back and like, okay, at this point I've watched them do 15, 20, 25 dishes is you always had this thing where, and it was like, it was predictable and it was going to be perfect. Like there will be a heat component. There will be a tart component. There will be a sweet, like you do like, I'm going to do butternut squash, plantain soup. There's going to be pickled fruit. Of course, there'll be chilies. And there was always this like kind of balance. But what was cool about it was after a while, he's like, this is a Gregory dish. Like you could look at the dish when they do that beautiful soft focus pan, with the voiceover. And it's like, oh my God, that's his food, right? Like heat, tart, the right, there's going to be a savory that is accentuated by these other three flavors. And it was just so signature. And it's kind of, again, the whole premise of our show is like, we talk about Top Chef the way like sports radio shock jocks talk about the game. And so it was it's fun to watch chefs when you kind of know the way, like a Kyrie Irving crossover dribble. Like, okay, that's Gregory's plate, that those components are there. Those qualities are there. Yeah. The balance is kind of just perfect. Like not too much.
Yeah.
Would he have had that if he was on season 3 of Top Chef? Like, did you have a certain confidence or knowledge about what you do well by season?
Oh, no. I mean, I definitely think like my last post, I was an executive chef for like 10 years. So I definitely, and we had like a 20 to 25 dish menu that was inspired by, like a lot of different cultures, so flavors. So, I think it definitely took me working there somewhere like that to be able to have so much in my repertoire. And also, I worked at a really, really busy restaurant, and we had to have something that pleased everyone. And because we saw every type of guest, so I definitely think there's a formula for making something delicious that's like competition winning, especially when you're trying to stand out. You don't want to necessarily hit someone over the head with like spice and heat and chili and all these things all at the same time, but you have to, to stand out in a group of like 15 dishes or even 5 dishes, there has to be mouthfeel, there has to be texture, it has to be interesting, it has to be cooked perfectly. You can talk about perfect technique, but if there isn't flavor, really at the end of the day, what I love about Top Chef and how the judging system works is it truly is about like the flavor of the dish. And like, it can't be too wacky. It can't be too weird. But if it's delicious, and everything is cooked really well, I think you have a pretty good chance, of winning, that round. And, some people are just better at it than others,
Portland is fantastic. I mean, it is. It's always punched above its weight in terms of restaurants. The sad thing is I actually haven't had a chance to be there in 5 years, but for a long time when people would go for work, colleagues, had this like long list of places, and it included trucks that included like, prefix fancy stuff that included just these wonderful little neighborhood places like Aviary and Davenport. And, I don't even know if any of these places are still there. But it's just like, it's such an amazing scene. I love the Viking soul food truck. Right. Like I love, obviously I go get my Hainanese chicken rice the second I literally I dropped my bags at the Monaco, which is where I always stayed, and like would walk the 4 blocks.
That's where we stayed.
Yeah. No, it's like I actually did a story on how they service NBA teams once. Yeah. But anyway, I just kind of want to get your impressions just because it's just a place I love to eat.
Yeah. I mean, Portland has a fantastic food scene, and it's been ravaged by the pandemic, unfortunately. And, here, unlike other parts of the country, we are extremely cautious. So, no one, the number of people who were like storming the Capitol, like protesting lockdown, our capital, our state capital, like was like not a lot, we are smart business owners, and people are very cautious, and we're not in, when the governor has allowed us to reopen indoor dining, we're at 50% now. Like a lot of people did not rush to reopen dining. People are waiting to get vaccinated. So we are very smart and cautious. And, that sense of community is extremely important to us, but we've been hit pretty hard. But yeah, I mean, Portland, for being like one of the widest towns in America, has an extremely rich and diverse culinary scene. And I think the culture that exists in the city is truly found in the culinary scene, from West African restaurants, Ethiopia, Ghana, to like great Russian, to like fantastic Thai restaurants, to, Japanese, now I'm bringing some Haitian, but, there's actually a couple other Haitian chefs in town as well. There's a Haitian winemaker. So, there's a very, very rich and diverse culinary scene here. And it does expand into, not just restaurants, but restaurants and food carts and makers. I think another great part of Portland, Oregon, in our state is just, how small makers can thrive. And whether you're selling, like African style hibiscus juice, or, if you're selling épices or, Haitian pickles at the farmer's market, there's a market and people are supportive, and you can kind of do so many things with food here. And you can really shop a global pantry here based on, people doing fantastic things.
Hey, Chef, I was wondering what you think about the Blazers, and if you've ever served Damian Lillard or any
oh yeah,
the Portland Trailblazers. Like, he just had to throw the question at you if you've been to the games, or what's your take on Damian Lillard?
I mean, the Blazers were regulars at my last restaurant.
Nice.
Like Dame, CJ, they all came in after every home game. We actually had a Blazers menu just for them, just for the entire restaurant, actually, because they would come in and they would want specific things after that portion of the menu closed. So we just like literally just picked all the food that they had always ordered and turned the late night menu into a Blazers menu just on game nights, so they could easily order whatever they wanted. But I think, it was like more of a safe space for them. And, you know, some fans would kind of bother them a little bit, but we try to block off the fans. But they just came to literally just like eat and get a couple drinks after all home games. So I've served them quite a bit. I've done some videos with CJ because he's a pretty big foodie.
He's a big wine guy too.
Yeah, he's a big wine guy. We did a duck special at my old restaurant, and he ate a whole duck by himself at like 11 o'clock at night. It was extremely impressive.
Kevin, I think you have your next story idea.
No, it's funny. I'm actually, in all seriousness, I'm working on a CJ feature right now. So I'm supposed to speak to him in the next week and a half.
Yeah. He's great.
I actually have some fun. I love just to ask sort of kind of regular people questions. We call it like the kind of quick fire lightning round. It's fun stuff. So like, what's your favorite lowbrow food? And I'm talking about processed, it doesn't matter, stuff that you're a little bit embarrassed to tell your fellow culinary community that you're really into.
Honestly, I'm like a total health freak.
Are you still vegan?
No, I'm gluten-free and dairy-free, and I don't really eat like a lot of meat, but I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't eat anything processed. I gotta be really honest. I just
it's part of the book. But, Everyone's table. It's like you listed like it's gluten-free, grain-free, and all this stuff. I'm like, is there food left?
But there's tons of food left.
That's why you got to buy the book.
It's a pamphlet. Like,
there's lots of different types of diets out there. No one's going hungry. But honestly, like I probably live off like nut butter and jelly sandwiches. Like it's like my job. Like I literally like will come home from making like 7-course tasting menus for people and like literally stand in my kitchen like at midnight and just like eat like nut butter and jelly, either on like bread or like out of the jar.
What is your one ingredient like it was last night in that first episode? Like what would you can't live without in the kitchen?
I would say chilies. Yeah. It's really hard for me to make something without chilies. It just seems like it's lacking.
Yeah, it's like it totally makes sense given your palate.
Yeah.
Best meal you've ever eaten?
The best meal I've ever eaten. Oh man, my really good friends have a restaurant named Tonari that's here, and it's probably the best meal I ate during the pandemic. It's the first time I ate inside a restaurant, but we were the only ones in the entire restaurant. My friend Ryan Roadhouse and Elena Roadhouse, and he's like a Japanese cuisine chef, and he's hands down the best Japanese cuisine chef in Portland, if not the state. So yeah, that was probably pretty up there for recent meals. But I mean, I think when I went to eat at Nam, when David Thompson was a chef in Thailand for the first time, I think that was extremely revelatory. But I mean, I'm going to have to say, you know, any meal spent with my parents and my mom just like make some straight up Haitian food, like chicken style, you know, Haitian style chicken and Creole sauce, rice and beans, some legume, you know, like having the opportunity to share like a meal like that with my family when we're all spread apart throughout the country. I think that's definitely my number one meal.
And last one, if you were president, who would be the White House chef? Like, you know, you get, like, this is how it works, right? You get to pick anybody you want, and they are the White House chef for 4 years. This is actually how it works in real life.
Oh man, only one person.
Right, and like, by the way, they got to be able to do state dinners. They got to be able to do your 11 p.m. like late night sort of comfort food. I mean, this is the person who will run the White House kitchen.
Okay, I would have to say Maylin.
Yeah. Okay. Nice call. Did you get to Nightingale? Did you get to Nightingale?
She's one of my best friends, and we actually have a very big space where our culinary styles meet. And she's super chill, and she's again like one of the most detailed, focused chefs I've ever met. And she has a truly great grasp of flavor, and she's just fun to be with.
Gregory,
did you get to her place in Los Angeles? Nightshade?
Yes. I flew there to surprise her, and she didn't look happy to see me.
I just called it Nightingale in the previous segment. But it's Nightshade, and it's wonderful.
Chef, we got to let you go, but thank you so much for joining us. It's been a huge pleasure.
Yeah, of course. My pleasure. It was so much fun.
We can't wait to eat at Con when it opens, and best of luck with the book. And we can't wait to see more of your face on Top Chef.
Yeah, thank you. Enjoy the season. Thanks for talking.
Oh man, that was so great with Chef Gregory. I'm super pumped for this season. We're going to see lots more of the alumni, Top Chef alumni here, and they gave us a little like sneak preview of the season. Lots of tears, lots of laughter. It seems like it's going to be an awesome Top Chef season. Kevin.
Yes, and Mylin would be the White House chef, which is just like such a good call, Tom. Like what a great call.
And I don't know if you had a power rankings for White House chef, Kevin, but I'm guessing she is very high on that list.
Oh yeah, that's it is the right call. Looking forward to the season, Tom. We have, you know what? I'm 0-3. I've never beaten you in a fantasy season, but I think this is my year. I think this is my year, Tom. I think my trade was masterful, and I think I'm going to reap all the earthly benefits of it.
You might, but just watch out. I might offer you some trades later this season and try to win back some of my players. So watch out for that. If we do another trade this season, just know that I'm going to be asking for a lot because I'm not feeling as good as you are about my draft this year. So we'll see. We'll see. I won last year by over 100 points, yes, I believe. So you're due, Kevin. You're
due. For Tom Habistrow, this is Kevin Arnovitz, and this is Pack Your Knives